Hello, and we are live again with reading Treasures of Darkness. Showing that angle so it's not too glary. Prison Journey. And the last time that I read, I mentioned speaking to Pastor Mark Ramsey and saying, I don't want a prison ministry. And the still small voice saying, who does? These women are just as important as anyone else to me. So I got a prison ministry. Yay! And I'm very happy that I did, that I was able to be of use. So then as now, my prayers were that I am effective. All right. Are you praying for provision for your ministry? Why not pray to be effective instead? The provision you really need will be there, and your focus will be on the people who need you. So yeah, sometimes we can spend time as a ministry praying for provision, when if we can pray to be effective, then if we're being effective, then the provision is there. So getting it around the other way. All right. When we go out to work, our bags are searched. We can only take our lunch and a drink, no money, no book. We can't buy anything anyway. We cannot talk to the public or make a phone call. I had a piece of paper in my shirt pocket this morning, and it had some notes I'd made on it. Oh, this was a bit embarrassing. So I had a piece of paper, and what's that in your pocket, Patricia? It's usually the name my mother uses when I'm in trouble. They use it too. What's that in your pocket, Patricia? Asked the officer. Looking very guilty, I unfolded it and handed it over. It's just a thought I wrote down. Oh no, she'll really think I'm odd, I thought. She read it, and to my surprise, she gave it back. My note was a topic I'd been developing. So you ready for this? It read as follows. Are you passionate about the work of the ministry? Or are you compassionate about those for whom the ministry is for? I'll read that again. Are you passionate about the work of the ministry, doing the job? Or are you compassionate toward those whom the ministry is for? Compassion will create passion. Passion without compassion is just ambition. Think about that for a while. So that's talking about so many people are passionate for their calling to do great things for God. And it's about how exciting it'll be and how big it'll going to be and the numbers they'll get and how big a church they're going to grow. But they don't actually think about the people, the lives of the people that they'll be affecting. And that's what they're there for. So when you're passionate about ministry, but you don't have compassion towards those you minister to, what you've really got, what you really are is ambitious. And it's not much different to a regular job where you just want to gain the most and do big exciting stuff. And I think that's where people can get caught up in jealousies and comparison, and sometimes where our heart can become hard because we have this vision we want to achieve, and you can actually become harsh on people. You know, the people who help you with your church are volunteers. They're volunteers. You don't order them about because you're the one in authority. Don't be thinking about your authority. Jesus said the first will be last and the last will be first. That who wants to be great among you will be a servant. If your pastoring is all about your authority, you don't have any. When you're working with volunteers, instead of ordering them about, thank them, because you're there to serve and have that compassion. And when you have compassion for people, they will love you and follow you anywhere. So that's that. Some of my other broadcasts will talk about on leadership, and in both faith and secular stuff, touch on that. Because that's how cults form, when leaders get too caught up in their power and their authority. That's how they get off track, because they can't be told. They won't accept a Nathan coming to them, the prophet Nathan, and saying, pull your head in. Someone wrote and asked if I were worried someone else would use my emails to create sermons, effectively knocking off my message. If they did, I'd be flattered. It wouldn't be the first time a pastor has taken credit for someone else's gift. Like Paul, I say, if Christ be preached, who cares? I took 2 new girls out to the cemetery on Friday. I asked one if she had a partner on the outside. I was looking forward to seeing Justin on the weekend. She said, I did have one for 10 years, but she broke up with me. Her family is Christian, and she's trying to find God again, so she left me. I know it's great to pray for the prodigal daughter to return, but I had never given any thought to the abandoned loved one left behind. I prayed all day for this woman. I'm still waiting on the Lord for an answer. In the meantime, I'm building a friendship with someone who knows I belong to the group which took her lover away. Interesting. And then I have a picture of my beautiful family in 2007. And what I'll do is I'll share the screen so you can see it, and I'll read the text that I put underneath. So there we are. Put that there. Aren't they lovely? Yep. So from left, Olivia, then Justin, Felicity, me, then Chelsea. I had blonde in my hair then. The twins were 5 and Chelsea was 8. At this point, we had been through the liquidation, losing all our properties, cash and other investments, including our family home. So this was taken in Mansfield near Carindale, where we were renting a house. Justin and I were determined to keep things as normal as possible for our girls. He sold real estate and I began working for a corporate and private investigations company promoting their fraud prevention program. Our earnings paid rent, lawyers and school fees. Our children's school environment was and still is more important than buying a house. Later, when we couldn't even pay rent, we boarded with my parents. So we moved up here to Caboolture to live with my parents, and still made sure our children attended a good Christian school. It was during this time that I researched and wrote most of Dangerous Wealth, what every successful woman needs to know to avoid being ripped off. And I will show you, I've got a copy of that book here. So this was my first book, Dangerous Wealth, what every successful woman needs to know to avoid being ripped off. And that's what I began my speaking on, tips and things for, and I have a gender neutral version as well. So you can go to my website, speakertrishjenkins.com, to the store there, and all 3 of my books are there. So thank you very much for your time, and I hope this has been entertaining for you. Please like, subscribe, and share, particularly subscribe, because that'll let you know when the next one comes out. All right, well, bless you heaps, and I'll see you, and have a wonderful Christmas. Much love. All right.